the officials. That gave me just a chill, like a cold sweat, the officials.
Good to have Josh Pastner, the former Georgia Tech head coach, in the booth with us.
Jim Boeheim back at the studio knows what I'm talking about.
Florida State starts with the ball in gold. Seminoles coming off a great win against Georgia Tech on Wednesday, 82-71. Trying to build some momentum here in conference play after an up-and-down non-conference schedule.
You know, Virginia Tech defensively, they really like to play pack it in. They're tough. They really use their chest in the way they move the ball, when they move their feet. They are a good half-court defensive team.
You take a look at the Hokies starting five. Shot clock down to 2. Fade away to open the scoring. Darren Green Jr.
Gets them to a great start, which allows Florida State to set up their press. They're going to try to take Virginia Tech out of their half-court offense and try to force them to start their offense nearby half-court. You can see Miller is guarding Pedulla right now at the top.
That's 11 inches between Baba Miller and Sean Pedulla. Wide open 3. Tyler Nickel can't cash in. Deflected ball, so shot clock resets. Pedulla in attack mode. Pull up pop. Missed it. Another offensive rebound. Virginia Tech with a 3rd chance to score, and finally Nickel does.
Florida State has struggled a little bit at the glass at times. They did a great job against Georgia Tech the other day. However, great offensive action there, offensive rebound-wise from Virginia Tech. You can't give that many looks.
And the Seminoles go inside to Deontay Green. You have to think, looking at these two teams on paper, Florida State will look to get inside more than usual today.
Well, they're gonna want to do that. But what I'd also tell you for Florida State, they're going to have to make some shots because Virginia Tech's going to pack it in. They're going to play tight into that paint there. They play a kind of a pack line in a sense. They really use their chest, as I mentioned, on the way they guard the ball. And then the other thing you see down there, when they're playing against Florida State, you've got to find the gaps. They really collapse towards the ball, and you've got to find those open shooters, which Virginia Tech got good looks. And then the offensive rebounds allowed them to get that 3rd shot.
But when you go against Leonard Hamilton, you said it, you know that you're going to get full court pressure.
Absolutely.
All game long.
And when you put them in the free throw line and they make the free throws or made baskets, it allows Florida State to set up their full court pressure and try to take Virginia Tech out of their half-court offense.
And that's why it's so vital for the Hokies today. Mike Young said it. Keep control of the basketball. Can't turn it over. So far, so good. Scoop to the hoop. Up and in, Mekhi Long.
You know, again, Virginia Tech, the way Florida State plays defense, it's an unorthodox way to have to go against that. They switch and everything they do. So there's just going to be a lot of breakdown offense by Virginia Tech. They're going to get open looks. They just got to stick them.
Here's Cattoor. 3-point threat. Right back to Long. Swiped away by Green. Talented sophomore Baba Miller draws the foul.
You know, we were talking during shoot-around today. Baba Miller was making 3-point shots. And then you can see down here in the transition, just in Virginia Tech, being able to drive it. You've got to drive Florida State because of the way they play, the way they get out in the passing lanes. You just can't settle and make passes around the perimeter. They will force you to get turnovers.
Throwaway there. Morley and Watkins can't connect.
Florida State is known about their base out-of-bounds defense. How hard it is to get the ball in it. This time it was Virginia Tech stealing a page out of Florida State's book on making it tough to get the ball out of bounds there. Good job by Virginia Tech. Those are kind of the special team situations that you've got to win. I know Coach Hamilton does not like that. You can see the pressure by Florida State just trying to take Virginia Tech, not letting them set up in any of their offensive actions.
Pedulla nearly lost the handle there. You know, he struggled with a foot injury for stretches in this season. Virginia Tech is going to need him to be at his best today. Kick to the corner. That three's off the mark.
He had one more up in the slot if he found that. He had another pass right there. Look at that range by Green.
Darren Green Jr., if he sees it, he'll take it.
You got to find him in transition. That was beyond NBA range where he shot it from. And again, you've got to know where he is on the floor at all times. When he crosses half court, he's literally into his shooting range. That's the type of range that he has.
And he's shooting 40% from three, now 335 career three-pointers.
Jay, you can see the pressure by Florida State is just, they're not allowing Virginia Tech to run their normal half-court offense. So everything they have to do has got to be through dribble penetration.
Now the first of probably a few for Darren Green today.
That was way beyond NBA range. He's a volume shooter, but if he's hot, he's as good as there is in the country.
And here we are talking about how Hunter Cattoor had the program record. Last time Virginia Tech was in Tallahassee, 9 threes in a win against the Seminoles. Darren Green, he's the type of player that could match a performance like 9 made threes.
Absolutely.
And the spin cycle, everything but the finish. Count the bucket, goaltend.
Listen, I think a huge key for Virginia Tech is Lynn Kidd. He's talented. He didn't have a great game against Wake. The game before that they played, he actually was 14 of 15 from the field. I think it was versus American. But you can see the hedge there by him. But he's a big key for Virginia Tech.
You mentioned the Virginia Tech loss last Saturday to Wake Forest, 86-63, far from the Hokies' best game this season. And then you have, a bye, quote unquote, because you didn't play in the midweek. So you have a whole week to practice. What's that like as a coach coming off a lopsided loss?
There's two ways to look at it. One, if you have a tough loss like that, you want to get it out of your system and you want to play right away. Or the second way to look at it, that, hey, you have a whole week to correct, to course correct and get yourself
tangled up. Spears in Pedulla, and they call Spears for the foul.
Coach Young, Mike Young from Virginia Tech, mentioned to us in shoot-around that he felt he was a little heavy or slow last game at Wake Forest. Pedulla, he's coming off that injury in his foot. And you can see Florida State is just putting an enormous amount of pressure on him and really trying to make him have to make plays off the bounce.
And he throws it away there, right on cue.
And that's what they're going to make you do, switch and guard and play a unique style defensively.
Well, we've mentioned it a couple of times already, but when we come back, we'll take a look at the last time Hunter Cattoor played here at the Tuck Center. Now, the last time Virginia Tech played Florida State in Tallahassee, the Hokies hit a program record 18 threes. Well, half of those belong to Hunter Cattoor. And those 9 threes knocked down by the Orlando native is still a program record for the Hokies. 9 of 11, 27 points in a big Virginia Tech win on the road. And it was funny, we joked with Mike Young. He goes, you almost need a performance like that to win in this building.
People don't understand how hard it is to win at this place. I mean, obviously, Florida State and Leonard Hamilton, they're an elite program. But to win on the road here is really hard to do. And for Virginia Tech to win, they've got to make some threes. Right now, the road for 2. They're going to need to start making threes to have a chance to beat Virginia Tech, or to beat Florida State.
Now, out of those 18 made threes, program record, 15 of them are still on the roster, Pedulla and Cattoor. Spears splits the double team and hits it. Primo Spears.
You can see Lynn Kidd there come out with a hard hedge. And then Spears, though, was able to split it, and that's what he does. He can get to that ACC logo and make mid-range jump shots.
Here's Cattoor right on cue. You can't leave him open. Nothing but the bottom of the net.
But Pedulla had a drive. He got 3 or 4 defenders sucked to the paint, which left Cattoor open behind. Great read by Pedulla to find the open man.
Well, if there's anybody you can't leave open, it's Hunter Cattoor in this building. We just showed the program record 9 made threes. Cattoor tried to swipe it away there. Kick ball. Going to stay with Florida State. You have to know where number 0 is at all times if you're Florida State.
You have to. Now, Florida State defensively, they're going to be who they are, and they swarm that ball. I mean, you penetrate, they're coming after you. So they will leave some shooters open at some different spots, but you've got to know where he is. It's important now they do a better job with this base out of bounds. Last time there was a turnover. They got it in here.
Green contested, and yet it rattles home. Darren Green Jr. firing Florida State back in front.
He's a tough shot maker. He can shoot it deep. And it was actually good defense, just better offense.
Shot clock down to 10. Here's Cattoor. Spears all over him. Gets it off. Off the mark that time. Now those are the contested threes you can live with.
Yeah, and absolutely. And sometimes they're just good defense. And if a guy hits a tough shot, you just give him credit on that.
Boy, is Florida State happy to have Cam Corhen back. Missed 5 games with a broken toe. He gives them a big boost in the front court.
A huge boost. They need him. Again, Florida State has been dealing with injuries all year long, but he's a big addition to get him back because he can play multiple positions and he can score from elbow on in.
And they've looked a lot better with Corhen back in the lineup. They feed him again. That time couldn't corral it. Loose ball at midcourt. Great hustle. Jameer Watkins wins it back for Florida State. Spears can't connect.
Right now, Jay, the pace is favoring Florida State. They want it to be a little bit more of an up and down track meet type of game and to cause disruption, not only for Virginia Tech offensively, but to really put pressure on them at the rim, on defense.
And there's Leonard Hamilton and his camo military appreciation night here in Tallahassee. Great talking with Coach Ham at shoot-around today. He feels like this group is coming along, happy with how they played against Georgia Tech on Wednesday night in that 11-point win.
When they told me his age, I said, there's no way. He looks like he's 45.
Well, I remember when you were the coach of Georgia Tech, would always heap a ton of praise on Coach Ham. And you always said, how is this guy not in the Hall of Fame? If he's not in, nobody should be in.
That's exactly right. He should be nominated. He's outstanding. He's built programs. What he's done here has been incredible.
Nickelberry at 3.
And Coach Hamilton mentioned that they need Nickelberry to get back to his scoring ways. That's going to be important for him to do that.
Yeah, wants him to be more aggressive. He's certainly shown throughout his career he can be a big scoring threat. Hasn't really shown up so far in Tallahassee. Chandler Jackson lost the handle and then committed the frustration foul.
Outstanding 50-50 ball win there by Barron there. Just getting on the floor. First to the floor wins. To win games like this, especially on the road, Jay, you've got to win those loose ball battles. That's a great win there for Virginia Tech. First to the floor, that gets you an extra possession. Big time play, big time 50-50 ball, 50-50 win. You can see now the pressure set up by Florida State.
And that pressure's been disrupting Virginia Tech so far today. The Hokies have fallen into a 3-minute scoring drought. How do you end it here?
Well, look, they're going to have to continue to penetrate, not turn it over. That'd be one thing, not to do that. But they're going to need to continue to penetrate, find the open man, and then probably skip it for one more.
Baba Miller through contact. Foul called, so he'll get 2 at the line.
We both really like Baba Miller at shoot-around earlier today. He was making 3-point shots. He's got a high ceiling. The more he plays, the better he's going to be.
He had a disruptive freshman year, missed 16 games, got inserted into the lineup midway through the season. But Leonard Hamilton reminded us, just 19 years old, has all the potential in the world. Really high on this young man's future.
Yeah, you can just see it in shoot-around. His talent, his upside. The more he plays, I mean, he's going to be a pro prospect. And Coach Hamilton said that a lot of people have been coming to obviously watch him. He's got a lot of hype coming in as well too from overseas.
The Virginia Tech, the scoring droughts lasted 3 minutes and 10 seconds. They're 0 for their last 3, and they've committed 3 turnovers.
Yeah.
That's been the killer.
Well, Florida State just takes you out of what you do in a normal sense. It's hard to understand and prepare for it until you actually get on the floor and play against it. You just sometimes got to have breakdown basketball like that play right there, but you just got to finish it. Otherwise, it's just a long night.
Chandler Jackson looking to go coast to coast, everything but the finish.
Florida State's allowing Virginia Tech to kind of hang around right now in this time period.
Poteet swatted by Baba Miller. Miller's made a real impact on this game so far. Spears a three, rattles in, doesn't drop.
During this drought that Virginia Tech has, Florida State only has a 5-point lead. They haven't taken full advantage of the drought that Virginia Tech's had. And again, that's a tough shot. That's not what Coach Young wanted there from.
Both teams really struggling to score right now. They are combined 0 of their last 11. The scoring drought for both sides, but Florida State a 5-point lead.
Some people just know that the best rate for you is a rate based on you, not one based on whatever this person is doing. Get a rate based on you with DriveWise and the Allstate app.
Who says you can't get everything you want? Like going for bold without going broke. And staying true to your taste while staying on budget. Who says rising costs means lowering the bar? Settling? No need. Get the brands you want, the prices you want, whenever you want. TJ Maxx, where you can always afford to be you to the max.
Well, it has been a frustrating last 4 minutes for both of these head coaches. Virginia Tech and Florida State a combined 0 of 11 from the field and 7 turnovers.
Look, if I'm Leonard Hamilton, I'm sitting there saying, guys, we are blowing an opportunity right now. We should be up 15. If I'm Mike Young and Virginia Tech side, I'm saying, thank the good Lord right now, we're only down 5. So it depends on how you look at it. But again, Florida State has not taken full advantage of Virginia Tech's misses, which is not normal for them to miss the type of open shots they miss right now.
Yeah, if you come in ACC play on the road and have a stretch where you commit 4 turnovers, go 0 of 6, usually you look up at the scoreboard and you're down a lot more than 5.
Yeah.
So the Hokies with plenty of opportunity here despite the slow start. Here's Pedulla. Cattoor can't leave him open. That's why Hunter Cattoor buried his second 3 of the day.
Credit to Mike Young, ATO, play out of the timeout. That was a setup to get Cattoor the open 3. Perfect execution.
And just like that, despite a horrific 4-minute stretch, only down by 2, right in it midway through this first half.
You can hear Coach Young there yelling, gaps, gaps, gaps. They want him packing it in as tight as possible.
Shot clock down to 2. Bowen has to hoist, and it doesn't drop.
We could look back at this segment where Florida State maybe didn't take advantage of the drought that Virginia Tech had. That could be the difference of the game, depending on how the outcome plays itself out.
Yeah, still a lot of basketball to go. Pedulla, left alone, decides to take it and make it. Sean Pedulla fires Virginia Tech in front.
Look, we've talked about it. You've got it. Virginia Tech was going to need to make threes against Florida State and hit back-to-back possessions with those. Pedulla got him on his heels, Bell, and he got an open 3. Too good of a look for him to give.
Florida State still in the scoring drought. The Seminoles have missed their last 6 shots. It's allowed Virginia Tech to grab control here. Shot clock again down to 2. And a turnover. Florida State, they've lost their rhythm.
Well, and right there you can just see defensively the gaps that they're in. You can see this is the out of the timeout, the 3 by Cattoor, but the gaps, the half-court defense that Virginia Tech is playing. Again, the open 3 by Pedulla there. But what's the reason Florida State is not scoring is they're playing in the half court against Virginia Tech. They're not getting out in transition right now. They're not getting enough baskets in that type of basketball, and that's a credit to Virginia Tech's transition defense. Florida State wants the game to be as up-tempo as possible.
Pedulla missed it.
Here they go in transition.
Baba Miller dumps it down low. Green through contact. Count it, plus the foul.
Jay, that's what it is. That Florida State got the rebound, went in transition, threw it ahead, got a breakdown offense with Miller driving, got the dunker spot, went underneath there, kind of relocated and found it, but it happened in transition when Virginia Tech wasn't able to set up their half-court defense. That's how Florida State needs to play to be able to get their offense going, to score great action there in transition offense by Florida State. And you can see Green on that underneath how he relocated on the drive. He didn't stay at a spot. He went underneath to the opposite side on a relocation.
Tech wants to keep this game at a slower tempo, like you were saying, Josh. Keep it a half-court game instead of a track meet in transition. Cattoor fading away. Oh, he's so crafty. Hunter Cattoor.
Good defense, better offense on that one. But if you're
17, back and forth we go.
If you're Florida State, you would live with that. You can't let them shoot threes. You can live with those type of shots. But again, now you're set back up. Florida State has to operate within that against Virginia Tech's half-court defense.
Watkins hard to the hole, missed it. And they say it was off Florida State last, so it'll be Virginia Tech ball. All tied at 17. ACC play, Hokies and Seminoles. Hunter Cattoor leading the way with 8.
Who says you can't get everything you want? Like going for bold without going broke. And staying true to your taste while staying on budget. Who says rising costs means lowering the bar? Settling? No need. Get the brands you want, the prices you want, whenever you want. TJ Maxx, where you can always afford to be you to the max.
I'm a guy who lost a bet and my dignity, as if watching my team lose wasn't punishment enough. And if you have cut rate car insurance, odds are you'll be paying for that yourself. So get Allstate.
TurboTax now offers a lifetime guarantee when you file your taxes.
TurboTax guarantees 100% accurate calculations, audit support, and maximum refund for the full 7-year lifetime of your tax return.
Visit TurboTax.com.
So you think Florida State basketball, and you think Leonard Hamilton, one of the best to ever do it. 611 wins, 5-time Coach of the Year, and the amount of players since 2004 that he has sent to the next level is outstanding. It's funny, we were talking with him at shoot-around this morning here at the Tucker Center. He walked in and saw you, Josh Pastner. I think he's happy you've got a headset on and that you're not on the sideline coaching against him anymore.
Well, look, I love coaching against Coach Hamilton. His teams, you had to be so prepared to play against them in their style of play. I have said multiple times he should have been nominated for the Hall of Fame. What he's done here and at Miami and at Oklahoma State, he's amazing. He's produced so many great players, and he's added so many great teams. The only thing he's missing is a Final Four. That's the only thing he's missing.
And it's too bad because they had the team to do it in 2020.
They would have won the national championship.
Really?
I really
would have won it
in 2020. They were outstanding.
And he told you that he's been basically coaching basketball since he was 18 years old, coaching and playing. Big time three, Pedulla from deep.
Again, late shot clock, pretty good defense by Florida State, better offense, and for Virginia Tech, that's what they're going to need to do.
Spears trying to answer and can't.
That's a tough shot, tough two right there.
Last thing on Leonard Hamilton, he told you he spent 1 year in media during the coaching, was down and doing some radio in Miami. And it's funny how that 1 year refresh can then lead to Florida State. He did the 1 year in Miami, and then boom, this is what he's built since.
He talked about how he has so much respect for all everyone in the media for the preparation that you have to do for that.
MJ Collins drills the three from the corner, so Virginia Tech has caught fire from three. They've made 5 threes in this first half. The Hokies on an 8-0 run. Timeout, Florida State. Virginia Tech has grabbed control of this game, leading by 6. We'll be back.
Some people just know that the best rate for you is a rate based on you. Not Paul. You don't want to ride with Paul. Get a rate based on you with DriveWise and the Allstate app. Ready for the NFL playoffs?
I was born ready.
Dramatic entrances? Check. Team of destiny?
Check.
Nightmare matchups? Check. All the heart-pumping playoff action of your dreams? Check, please.
I'm here courtside. Watch this.
You have got to watch this replay, folks.
Watch this, watch this.
On it. Watch me. Do this.
Fire here. They've made their last 4 3-pointers after being ice cold.
It's a make or miss game. It's not that it's not that complicated basketball. It's a make or miss game. Let me just tell you this. A lot of the threes have not come through some extravagant play settings. It's come through breakdown offense. That's what happens when you play against the Florida State defense. You're just going to have to make some shots, and that's what Virginia Tech's doing right now.
Baba Miller triggers from 3. Off the mark, no good. Miller keeps picking up Pedulla on defense. There's 10 inches separating those two players.
The way they play defense, Florida State, they're so interchangeable. They switch everything. They play on the high side, up the floor. It's a very unique and unorthodox way.
Pedulla all the way to the rim. Boy, that foot injury looks like it's all healed.
And if you notice, there was no passes in that possession. It was a dribble. You just had to make a play, and that's what he did, and that allowed him to get to the rim. You've got to do that against Florida State. Is you've got to drive the ball against their switching. But Mike Young's teams, Jay, 63% of their field goals are assisted. They want to move that ball, but against tonight, this afternoon, just like that example right there, it's just going to have to be some breakdown. And right there, Pedulla just no passes, just dribbled it and went right to the rim.
Florida State has fallen into a 3-minute scoring drought. During that same stretch, it's allowed Virginia Tech to go on a 10-0 run from down 2 to up 8. Seminoles need that 3, didn't get it.
As I mentioned earlier, I mean, if I'm Leonard Hamilton, I'm looking back at that segment and saying we just did not take full advantage of Virginia Tech's drought.
Here's an opportunity in transition. Watkins into traffic and draws the foul.
They've been at their best, Jay, when they've been in transition. They've got to get in transition. Now, you've got to get stops, but when you get stops, they've got to run. They are struggling against Virginia Tech's half-court defense. Virginia Tech is a very good half-court defensive team. They play in the gaps. They're physical. They move their feet. So Florida State has got to continue to find ways to put pressure on Virginia Tech in transition offense.
Coming up next, our ACC basketball triple header finishes in South Bend. Number 14 Duke taking on Notre Dame, and the Irish, they've looked a lot better the last couple of weeks.
It's a great win against Virginia. Should have beat North Carolina State. That was a great game. Micah Shrewsbury's having his team. They're getting better and better and better each time they step on the floor. They're going to be a hard out during conference play.
I don't need to tell you because you've coached in this league. Every single conference game is tough to win.
You've got to have the Tums ready for you right there. I mean, it is nauseating. It's exciting and thrilling, but it's just hard to win in this league, whether it's at home or on the road.
MJ Collins muscles it through contact, and Virginia Tech has found a great rhythm now.
And I don't want to beat it, just continue to beat the same point, but you can see there was no passes again, something that Mike Young's teams don't do. They're so good at moving the ball. But on this type of playing against Florida State, you're going to just have to take that out and find ways to get to the rim.
Coach, welcome to broadcasting. That's what we do. We just beat the same point over and over.
Well, I'm good at repeating myself. That'll fit right on in.
5 minutes to go in this first half. Florida State needs to find something offensively. They are just one of their last 11. Make it one of their last 12.
There's a lid on the rim right now.
And it's allowed Virginia Tech, who had their own scoring droughts in this first half, to grab control of this game. This layup there, nothing can fall for Florida State. They have not made a basket in more than 4 minutes. Here's Lynn Kidd. He can't connect. What can you do here when you haven't scored in more than 4 minutes?
Well, the last possession by Florida State, they got to make the layup. I mean, they're in transition, and they got to do that. But again, in transition, they're at their best when it's not against Virginia Tech's set defense. They've got to get down, and then there's another time they threw it ahead and just re-attacked the closeout and got to the paint. They are struggling when they're playing against their half-court set defense.
Offensive rebound, Lynn Kidd. Goes right into Corhen, who got all ball. Corhen's been a spark off the bench. Florida State continues to get it done in transition, that time with Watkins.
And the way they play on transition offense, that's Florida State's best way to score right now, especially during the drought they're having shooting from the perimeter.
Caught in between a pass and a shot there. Recksteiner gave it away. So Florida State, they had that 1 for 13 drought, but the Seminoles right in it, only down 4. In the studio for halftime, Josh Pastner, Jay Alter with you here in Tallahassee.
Does Coach Boeheim miss it or not? I want to know. I want to know if he's missing it. Does he miss, when watching this game, the amount of missed shots right now? What is he thinking?
Well, he's used to watching missed shots against his 2-3 zone.
Yeah, it's hard to play against his 2-3. I mean, what has he got? 2,000 wins? I don't know. I mean, he's won so much. Goodness gracious. They should name Syracuse just Jim Boeheim.
Well, the court's named after him, so that's a start.
That's the start.
Do you miss it is the real question.
Well, when I was seeing Mike Young wipe all the sweat off of there, I was like, goodness gracious.
You don't miss that.
I love being right here right now.
Tough take. Both of these teams have played excellent defense. So you'll look at some of the numbers and go, oh, ugly game offensively, but a lot of that is because of the defense being played.
Yeah, you look at it right now, Virginia Tech, like I said earlier, 63% of their field goals have been assisted in coming into this game. But tonight, this afternoon, they only have 2 assists on 11 made field goals. So everything they've had to do has had to been breakdown offense. Now, Florida State is one of the very best in the country, if not the best, on base out-of-bounds defense. They trap, they play all over. Right, that's what they do. It's a special team situation, and they're the best at it.
Transition continues to be the key for FSU today. They're going to take a look at this, though, to see if it was offensive goaltending on Gainey.
Jay, those type of special teams, base out of bounds, are such a winning and losing 50-50 situation. Florida State is so good on base out of bounds defense. They make it so tough. Virginia Tech spent a lot of time working on their base out of bounds. They get the steal after base out of bounds defense.
Looks like it fell off the rim.
I think it's clean. Count it.
Yeah.
Offensive basket interference.
Although they ruled no basket. Everybody in the arena saw what we saw up on the Jumbotron. I thought it fell off just enough for Gainey to clean up the spill.
Look at halftime. They're going to look at it at halftime.
I think what they're going to see is AJ Desai coming over here to say they'll look at halftime.
It's the most he's talked to me.
In the last, 8 years?
Yeah, during the game, I'll just be yelling at each other.
You told me your record with him as an official was like 2 and something.
Yeah, it wasn't real good, I can tell you that. No, listen, I love AJ as a person. He's a good man. But on the court, I didn't have a great record with him. I said, AJ, what is going on? Because I can't help it that you guys foul more than the other team. I'm like, no way. You don't teach fouling. Now, they'll look back at that, but that could be a momentum swing shifter for Florida State to give them some life that can undo the lid off the rim. Sometimes basketball, that's what it's about, is getting that energy just going for you.
Here's Cattoor. Leads the Hokies with 8. Lost the handle, though. Florida State's defense has been suffocating in this first half.
Do you see there, Jay, that when he was driving it, literally 5 guys were swarming him? So, but now, you might say, well, just pass the ball.
Somebody's open.
But the problem is Florida State's length. They're so long, vertically and horizontally, it makes it tough. Again, base out of bounds defense, Florida State's probably the best in the country at what they do here.
Shot clock under 10. A little more than 2 minutes left to this first half. Pedulla trying to wiggle free off the Lynn Kidd. Give and go. Pedulla beats the buzzer. How about that?
That's what you're going to have. Just sometimes some of those shots got to fall for you. You can see the great hedge there by Kidd on Virginia Tech to push Florida State back towards the half court.
Seminoles have struggled in the half court this half. And they continue. Turnover. Pedulla, transition 3. Missed it.
Florida State's got to...
Makai Long stayed down. Gainey goes inside and commits the foul.
Jay, the possession before when Miller got it stolen, because he's trying to drive the single gaps, we would call it the single gaps in there, and they were just really inside with their hands. And then you look at the other way coming down, Florida State got in transition. But they ended up scoring because Long went down, but in transition, Nickelberry pulled it back out. They got to stay on the attack mode when they're in transition, not pull it out. The best when they're continuing to attack, trying to conquer that ACC logo.
So count the bucket. We all saw the contact there, but no foul. Pedulla knocked away, out of bounds. It'll stay with the Hokies.
Thirty-second timeout, Virginia Tech.
30-second timeout here. Virginia Tech, Florida State with under a minute left in the half. Four-point lead. Virginia Tech has the basketball.
You know, again, it's a base. It's a base underneath right now. Deep corner. This makes it really tough, Jay, for Virginia Tech to get the ball in bounds. You can see where it's at. It's deep corner. This is a big possession for both teams because with 14 on the clock, Virginia Tech needs to, 1, get it in and not turn it over, and 2, Florida State needs to get a stop, maybe even get a turnover here and get in transition. Big possession right here to end the half.
Hokies have been good out of timeout so far today. Pedulla draws the foul. He'll get 2 at the line. And remember, Florida State might get 2 extra points here at the end of the first half. The officials are going to review that offensive goaltending at halftime.
It looked like it was good because it was off the rim and enough of a cylinder away that it should have counted, but
tomorrow afternoon right here on ACC Network. A great slate of women's basketball. It tips off at noon Eastern time. Top 13 matchup, NC State at Virginia Tech, then Georgia Tech at Pitt, and then the nightcap, Florida State, Clemson, Boston College at Syracuse. A quadruple header tomorrow right here on ACC Network.
Gainey for Florida State, they've been wanting to continue to get healthy. He's had a lot of knee issues, knee surgeries.
What a follow! Jalen Worley rocks the rim.
Great momentum dunk there. And Florida State, Leonard Hamilton was talking about, they need Gainey to continue to get healthy. He's such a big part of their scheme, their system, how they play. The more he plays, the more healthier he's going to be. He's a huge key for Florida State. But that was a great dunk there.
2 seconds left in the half. Kidd has to hurry off to Collins. Did not get it off in time. Missed it anyway. Virginia Tech 30. Florida State that starts with the ball. They did take a look, by the way, at halftime and ruled that it was offensive goaltending. So could have been a 1-point game. It's a 3-point game.
And you and I both disagreed on that. We actually thought that it looked like...
I thought it did fall off the rim, but Jamie Luckey came right over. He said, we got a good look. The ball was touching part of the rim, so no basket. With Florida State, they had rhythm, and then it just evaporated. 1 for 13 at one point during that stretch. How do you make sure you just get more consistency on the offensive end?
Well, look, I mean, again, besides the point of transition offense, they're going to need to make some shots, and especially from 3. They were 1 for 8, now 1 for 9. So I think they've got to throw the ball inside more and try to establish a post presence inside and get going with some paint points.
Nickel on the money to start the second half. Virginia Tech a 6-point lead.
Florida State needs to try to score more in the paint. They need to try to get it inside. They need to try to score. If it's not in transition, it's going to have to be off the free throw line.
Miller trying to answer, and he does. Baba Miller.
He made 2 or 3 of those in shoot around this morning, working on those. At his size, that is a dangerous weapon if he can start doing that on a consistent basis.
Pedulla and Cattoor, the dynamic duo for Virginia Tech, they combined for 19 of the Hokies' 30 in the first half. And that is the danger with the way Florida State plays, Josh, is because they're constantly switching. It's not like one guy gets more attention than the other.
Yeah, and because of that, they're going to get some open threes. Like right there, they swarm to the ball. They find Nickel on the open 3, and then here's the penetration. And a great look there for Miller in that corner 3.
Now that's just a second made 3 of the afternoon for Florida State. Inside, Nickel in trouble, kicks it out. Cattoor a 3, and he knocks it down. Hunter Cattoor buries his 3rd 3 of the game.
Tremendous decision by Virginia Tech. They got it in the paint, and then instead of shooting it, they found Cattoor behind wide open because of, the swarm by Florida State towards the basketball.
Right to the rim, coast to coast, out of control, lost the handle. Cattoor swipes it, and Florida State had numbers, missed opportunity in transition.
Wasn't a good decision on that pass there. They had opportunity, and they had to his right. They had both wings filled. Try to find it, try to thread the needle, and try to make a home run pass and just keeping it simple and hitting a single. And those things will drive you crazy as a coach.
I have to imagine you're sleeping a lot better.
Oh, I'm sleeping so much better. I don't have to eat so late at night. It's a new life almost. I can't explain it.
The ACC, it'll take the life out of you because every single one of these conference games.
And people that don't give credit to the ACC, this is a monster league. To win in this league, it is so hard to do, home or road. It's an incredible league. It should be getting way more attention and recognition than it does right now.
Flying in on a rack attack, Baba Miller.
Transition offense. They are so good in that open floor, flying around. That is the way they need to play.
Contact and 3 foul shots coming for Tyler Nickel.
Virginia Tech has the line shooting 3.
Beautiful.
Absolutely outstanding. Now, but let me just say this. They make a run there. They have that great play, but then they lose the momentum by fouling the three-point shooter. And what happened is Florida State, because they play so up the floor, it was really good penetration by Pedulla. He got the defense to commit to him, and he kicked to the open corner, and then the closeout he hit. So the momentum that Florida State just had, they lost a little bit about that by fouling the three-point shooter on that three.
Before the Miller slam, we were talking about how the ACC doesn't get the amount of respect that we think it deserves. How difficult is it, too, especially now NIL transfer portal year in and year out, to just build your roster, to have it competitive? Because if you're not at the top, you'll take your lumps.
You're not, and it's not even NIL, it's pay to play. I mean, that's really what it is. That being said, it's not a program, it's year by year is what you're building. You can't look for past 2 or 3 years down the road. It's 1 year at a time based on the climate of the NIL and the transfer portal.
And nobody knows that better than you. They hang a banner in 2021, ACC champions, and then boom, 2 years later, you're broadcasting with me. I mean, it's true. Mike Young knows it too.
Yeah.
They win in 2022. Now everyone's, well, what have you done for me lately?
It's almost, that's what it's about. It's winning now because of the portal, because of the NIL. Now, if you don't have NIL, it becomes really hard. But the portal has made it so where people are expecting results immediately, where you could build, get old, stay old, have some ups and downs. That's no longer the situation right now in college sports.
And at the end of the day, only one team can win the conference.
Winning is hard. Every possession is hard. To win one possession is so hard to do.
Well, the home fans not happy with this call. Leonard Hamilton can't believe it. Foul was the call on the floor. And the home fans think Pedulla just lost his footing here.
And you know, with Pedulla, he's had some foot issues as well, so that could have been the situation on that. The officials can control a lot of basketball on those 50-50 calls that can make or break a team, a season, a player, in good or bad.
So this is almost like a free possession for Virginia Tech. Can they cash in? 10 on the timer. Cattoor in attack mode. Collins wide open. Missed it. Follows it up though. And now Cattoor a three. He buries it.
Green, who contested it, went running to half court instead of coming back for the rebound there at the free throw line. Those are backbreakers. I guarantee you, Coach Hamilton is showing that to Green on the film. You've got to get back in defensive rebound.
Paul Bowen, the answer. Talented freshman from Vermont. Here comes the Florida State full court pressure. And that's a turnover. Now Virginia Tech, they are riding Hunter Cattoor, and why not? The all-time leader in threes in program history. He's added 4 more to his tally today.
I'm a parking gate, and I'm all out of whack. And if you have cut rate car insurance, this could leave you all bent out of shape. So get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem.
Who says you can't go for bold without going broke? Get the brands you want, the prices you want, whenever you want. TJ Maxx, where you can always afford to be you to the max.
The Australian Open hits different on the networks of ESPN.
Ready for the NFL playoffs?
I was born ready.
Dramatic entrances? Check. Team of destiny?
Check.
Nightmare matchups? Check. All the heart-pumping playoff action of your dreams? Check, please.
Now, the Virginia Tech backcourt has been excellent on the road against Florida State today. Hunter Cattoor, Sean Pedulla combining for 25. And the way they've shot the ball today has kept the Hokies in control.
Yeah, look, those two guys are such good basketball players. They know how to play. They move so well without the basketball. Now, this is an unorthodox game because it's so much more dribble penetration, not maybe as much passing. But to their credit, they've made some big shots to allow Virginia Tech to have a 7-point lead right now. This is a big stretch right here. I think this next 4-minute segment is a big 4-minute segment for Florida State.
They start with the basketball. Great out of timeout. It was perfectly executed, except the foul came in before the finish.
That's why Leonard Hamilton is one of the greatest in the game, to be able to have, again, the out of timeout set up and get a chance for a three-point play. He missed it, but gets him to the free throw line. I think Florida State needs to continue to attack the paint, obviously within transition offense, but when they are in the half court, they need to keep trying to find ways to play inside. That ACC logo on the floor there, the more they can conquer that area, the more that's beneficial for Florida State against Virginia Tech's half-court defense.
12 of their 35 points have come in the paint today. The other thing is, in a two-possession game, you need stops. And Pedulla and Cattoor, just too many makes. That time, exactly what the Seminoles needed. They get the stop and swipe it from Pedulla.
On that end, Pedulla, if you saw three guys, he drove, we called it like a single gap. There wasn't enough of a room, so he drove a single gap. Three guys swarmed him, and their hands are so active. Watch three guys there, and watch the hand activity by Jackson. Allows the steal in transition, and then a foul for Florida State. Big possession right here for Florida State.
Cross-court pass. Finds Bol Bowen, the freshman, playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Bol Bowen did not settle for that three. He attacked the closeout, attacked the paint. That's what Florida State's got to do. More points in the paint this half to give them the best chance to win this game.
Cattoor stolen away again. Back-to-back steals for the Seminoles. Corhen finishes at the rim. And just like that, it's a two-point game. Poteet answers with a dunk of his own.
That will silence the crowd, going right inside. Nice seal there by Poteet on his footwork as well, too.
Green, he's been quiet. That rim's out, no good from deep.
They were fortunate there, Virginia Tech. He can make those.
Pedulla splits the double team, calls his own number, and delivers again.
Another possession without a pass. Straight dribble. But that's what Virginia Tech has to do to score against Florida State's defense.
And you went up for Mike Young against him so many times. You told me today, watch the way they pass offensively. He's one of the great masterminds offensively when it comes to passing offense. He's thrown all those plays out and let his guys win one-on-one matchups.
Look, they come in the game, 63% of their field goals are assisted. This afternoon, it's not like that. But you've got to just figure out different ways against the style of Florida State, which is very unique and unorthodox. to play against, especially in half court.
Yeah,
You just got
7 assists on 17 makes.
Yeah.
That's very atypical for a Mike Young coach team, but it is working today.
They're up 6. To his credit, he's found the style that's had to work for this game to put him in position to win.
Trapped in the corner, risky pass, and a turnover.
Jay, that's the second turnover Florida State has had on base out of bounds throw-ins. Usually that's what Florida State does to other teams. They've thrown it into the deep corner both times. Florida State's got a trap, and they've forced turnovers by Virginia. Virginia Tech has forced 2 turnovers on base out of bounds.
Every time that Florida State gets within striking distance, the Hokies have punched back today. Cam Corhen's dunk got it within 2. And Virginia Tech has responded. And a foul called on the freshman Bull Bowen. Cattoor grabbing the back of his head.
Even though Virginia Tech, offensively it's not been a typical Virginia Tech type of way they play offensively, they are doing a great job in the half-court defense. And defense does travel. It travels. And so if you have an off night, the one thing that holds true is your defense. If you have an off night offensively, you should always be able to count on your half-court defense.
Shot clock down to 5. Cattoor has to hurry. Stayed with it. Heaves it up through contact, no call. And that's a shot clock violation. Great defense by Florida State.
Again, credit to Miller. His size and length guarding the point guard and the way he's moving his feet totally disrupts Virginia Tech. And then they're fortunate that they didn't get it. And that was a great non-call by the 3 officials because Cattoor tried to sell it.
He was looking for it.
He was looking for it. He's so good at acting and gamemanship in the way he plays. Good no call by the 3 officials. I can't believe I'm saying it. Good call by the officials. But a good job by the 3 officials on the no call because he was trying to, that was a setup for them to try to get to the free throw line.
Cattoor limping over to the bench, grabbing his right knee. We'll continue to monitor that. Virginia Tech is going to need Hunter Cattoor, not just in this game, but the rest of the season. Must have been the way he landed.
Yeah. Hopefully he's okay.
Cattoor, who loves playing Florida State. Last time he was in this building, he hit a program record 9 threes. He's got 4 today. We will get an update on him as soon as we can.
Great hedge there, the hard hedge on the screen by Petit.
Nickelberry goes baseline, swatted at the rim, and a foul called.
If you notice, they got it to Miller, so they had a hard hedge by Virginia Tech. They threw it to Miller. Outstanding pass, cross-court skip. And Nickelberry, again, didn't settle. What did he do? He attacked the closeout and got to the paint, which then resulted in him getting to the free throw line.
He looked like Florida State quarterback Jordan Travis there. That had some speed on it to go cross-court.
Well, at his size, that helps, too, to be able to oversee the defense.
Tonight at 8 Eastern, after our triple header is finished, the Nothing But Net crew will break down what has been a busy day in the ACC. They'll take a look at the best matchups of the week to come. Everything you need to know in one place right here on ACC Network. How about Wake Forest quietly becoming, I think, a team to beat in the ACC? A big win today against Miami. That's now 9 straight wins for Steve Forbes' team.
They can really score, Jay. I mean, and he's done such an incredible job of getting guys in the portal. I mean, he's kind of been the portal master at this point.
Liam Kidd missed it, trying to follow his own shot. Kicks it out. Open 3, Collins buries it.
They're fortunate they didn't get a travel call. I thought Lynn Kidd shuffled his feet. By them not calling that, that's a break for Virginia Tech. That's a big swing right there.
Dumped inside, and Florida State might answer with an old-fashioned three-point play through Gainey. He'll be at the foul line when we come back. These two teams in a critical ACC affair going punch for punch. Not much to separate. And we've got a fun finish shaping up in Tallahassee.
Jay, as you can see on that three-point where I thought he traveled and he shuffled his feet, these things keep you up at night as a coach. I mean, these are big plays. I looked right there. I thought right there was a shuffle. Again, and maybe I'm just, have that thinking of being as a head coach, but not getting that call leads to a three-point play. And I've always said, when there's those type of plays, it's the make or break that can change a season, change a game, change a player's career, because there's so much at stake. That's a big play.
Those 3 points could very well decide this game. We've got a very close competitive game.
And I want to say this, the three officials here are all very good. There's great officials in the league. Again, when you're being a head coach, you're always going to be hard on officials, but they have a very hard job. The speed of the game, and the three guys here are doing a great job. And there's great officials in the ACC, but you're looking at all those littlest things when you're watching the games.
Pedulla tangled up with Miller, tumbled to the floor hard. Great to see Hunter Cattoor back into the game. Hands off for Lynn Kidd, who tried to squeeze it down the baseline and turned it over. Spears splits the double team, right to the rim, lays it up and in. Primo Spears.
Every time Florida State has run a high ball screen with Spears involved, Virginia Tech has come out hard on the hedge, and each time Spears has split the hedge, the hard hedge, and has gotten to the paint and has made a play.
Lynn Kidd shuffled his feet again. Same exact play we just showed you a moment ago.
Good call. You can see the replay here. It's the same thing. He shuffled his feet, so he has a tendency of doing that. And again, in the speed of the game, the quickness, it's hard to see every little thing on that from an official standpoint, but those are big plays. There's no doubt about it.
Inside, great defense by Kidd. Pedulla missed it, went right to the rim, could not finish. Both of these teams dialed in defensively. It's made for a fun game, close, competitive, and it'll likely come down to the wire here. That's what ACC basketball is all about. Foul called. Jaylan Gainey was hacked down low.
Virginia Tech foul number 4, long is second. One line by Seminoles.
Good catch there by Gainey. You can see they got his hands in there, but Florida State needs Gainey to be high level for him. He was a transfer from Brown in the Ivy League. I recruited him when I was at Georgia Tech. I loved it. He was really a big-time rebounder, defender, shot blocker. He could rim run, but he's had injuries, and that has been an issue that has hurt Florida State, and it's hurt because they have counted on him to be a big-time player for their program.
And remember, the Ivy League didn't play in 2020, so really in 3 seasons of basketball, he only played 1. It can be tough on conditioning as well. Foul called on the other end.
You know, Jay, so much of it in sports, there's momentum, there's rhythm, there's flow, there's energy.
We haven't had a lot of flow and rhythm tonight.
Not in this game. But I was also going to say, to be successful, there's also got to stay healthy.
Yes.
And you look at not only this year, but the last couple of years for Coach Hamilton, unfortunately, he even talked about this morning in shoot-around, they have had the injury bug. And, people say, well, next person up. Well, that's not always the case in college. In the NBA, yeah, the person that's next person up in the NBA is actually a pro. or they can get someone and trade someone off the waiver. Now, let's hope they don't do college sports like that. But that's the point.
We have enough to worry about.
It's not always that simple. So they have not been as healthy as lately, and that's been why they've been a little bit up and down at times.
And another foul called. The foul's piling up here. Virginia Tech has already put Florida State in the bonus.
They didn't take advantage of the free throw line there, Virginia Tech.
Free throws could very well decide this game. Both teams actually are going to be in the bonus for the remaining 9:52.
That is why for Florida State, they've got to keep attacking and conquering that ACC logo. They don't need to settle for threes. The more they can drive it, the more they can play into the paint.
Another missed free throw. Although one back by Miller, right back to Watkins. He can't finish it. That time cleanly. Put in! Jaylan Worley! And a chance to give the Seminoles back the lead with the and one.
Second effort, offensive rebounding off the free throw line, box out. Again, those are humongous plays when you're in a situation of a back and forth possession by possession game.
Missed the free throw. That's now 4 missed free throws in a row, but another offensive rebound. Miller gives it right back. And Florida State has the lead with Cam Corhen. The first time the Seminoles have led since it was 17-15.
It all happened off the effort on the free throw line, box out twice down there. That can be the difference of the game on a free throw line, box out, both those times.
Florida State on a 9-0 run. Hokies need a bucket here. Shot clock under 10. It'll stay Virginia Tech ball. You have to imagine that Hunter Cattoor or Sean Pedulla will have the ball in their hands here. Shot clock at 9. And those have been the two go-to guys all game, all season long.
Watch here on side, base out of bounds. Again, Florida State does some different things on base and side out of bounds. They make it tough to get it in. You'll see them start up in a diamond here, in a diamond set, and then you've got Miller on the ball with his length. Watch Miller there and try to make it. You can see it.
Here's Lynn Kidd. Nothing but air. And Virginia Tech has now fallen into a 3-minute scoring drought, which Florida State has used to go on a 9-0 run and grab the lead.
Credit to the side out of bounds defense by Florida State made Virginia Tech shoot that tough shot.
Florida State had been getting all the rebounds and the hustle plays, and they get another. Miller swipes it away. And another and one. Florida State has taken over this game, an 11-0 run.
Miller has been made big plays down the stretch on offensive rebounds and all kinds of hustle plays. He's been outstanding.
Timeout, Virginia Tech. Florida State with all the momentum. FSU on an 11-0 run. They have completely taken control of this game now, a 4-point lead, and they've done it with hustle.
Well, look, Miller had 2 big 50-50 ball plays off the free throw line, box out. They did another offensive rebound. They've done it through kind of the old school way of just effort on the glass. And those are things that you have to do to win games, any game, but especially in a league like this.
And another offensive rebound. That's now 6 offensive rebounds, make it 7, 8. And another and one. That sequence sums it up. Florida State dominating the glass. 8 offensive rebounds in this second half alone, and a lot they've cashed in.
It's been the actual difference in the game right now. Find Mike Young. Those type of things just absolutely drive you up the wall. You can see Pedulla was left standing, didn't slide over to have the box out, and he allowed him to get through there on the miss. They have made a living off the free throw line offensive rebound right now, Florida State.
9 second chance points. All of them have come in this second half. 8 offensive rebounds. That is the difference in this game right now.
And most of them off the free throw line. Missed free throws.
Yes. How about that? As a former head coach, missing free throws might win you this game.
Yeah, I mean, really, that's been the best offense right now with Florida State in this last 3-4 minutes, has been missing the free throw and then getting a second shot, putting it back.
And also getting in close because of those offensive rebounds and 50-50s, just falling near the basket and getting a lot of and-one opportunities as Pedulla spins his way through. That ends the 14-0 run. Desperately needed bucket for the Hokies. And yet, even though on the road you suffer a 14-0 run, you're only down 5 with 8 minutes left in this game. Still right in it. Green a 3. Missed it.
He got a great look, Jay. I mean, you can't get a better look than that. It was actually a great pin-down screen, throwback, got a great, feet were set. Coach Hamilton would take that all day long.
Pedulla draws the foul, trying to inject some life into this Virginia Tech team. He'll be at the line when we come back, trailing by 5. Now, Florida State trailed by as many as 9 in this second half, and yet the hustle plays have the Seminoles with the lead.
Yeah, right there, Virginia Tech had it. They lost it. And just, again, off of a missed free throw. There again, Bob Miller gets a steal. Then here's Worley coming in. No box out from Pedulla at the top of the key. They have made a living. Actually, their best offense is missed free throws because they're getting the second and third opportunity on their effort on keeping balls alive and scoring that direction right now.
And it's one thing to get those offensive rebounds, but they've done a great job cashing in on those opportunities. So a 9-point deficit is now a 4-point lead after the Pedulla made. The final 8 minutes of this game. What are you saying to a team down the stretch in a very close competitive conference game?
Well, in this point right now, every possession becomes magnified, Jay. I mean, literally every possession is so magnified. So you've got to make sure that you take care of the ball. You've got to get good shots. If I'm Florida State, I want to continue to attack the paint. Both teams should want to continue to attack the paint because both teams are in the bonus.
Florida State continues to stay red hot. Primo Spears, and it's a 5-point lead for the Seminoles. Risky pass. It pays off at a foul call.
So two things there. One, Florida State's in their zone press. Instead of being in their man-to-man press there, they got in their 2-2-1 zone press. But secondly, the last thing you want to do when you have that momentum, that's the second time that's happened. They've got the momentum swing to you for Florida State's advantage, and they create a foul. Earlier, they fouled Nickel on the three-point shot in the corner, and now they foul Long right there at half court. No need to foul when you've got the momentum towards your advantage.
Long, who missed 2 free throws earlier, makes that one. Virginia Tech just 5 of 10 from the line before that make as a team.
If I'm Coach Hamilton, I like the aggressiveness on the press, but you don't want to foul. Right. Like, you've got to be smart about it. There was no need for that because that, again, negates Spears' shot with both free throws there by Long.
Both teams in the bonus the rest of the way. 1 possession game in a critical ACC affair. Florida State once again goes inside, gets the foul call. They have made a living of getting right to the rim, up in close, and then getting fouled.
Virginia Tech did a great job moving over there. Long got there in front, but based on the new rule that's changed this year, any collision, if you're not jumping straight up and down, almost 99.9% of the time is going to be a block. They're trying to avoid any collisions at the rim, which the advantage goes to the offense. So right there, they try to get to take a charge, but any contact, if you're not there way beforehand, it's going to be an automatic block.
The other thing for Virginia Tech is Hunter Cattoor has gone quiet in these last few minutes. Has the ball now.
I don't know if it's because of when he got, that
dinged up
and he went out. So I don't know if that's affected him at all. It's great that he's back on the floor playing. But
he's been so good against Florida State. Over 4 games against the Seminoles in his career, he shoots at 63%. Pedulla, the floater falls. Perfect touch.
Best offense for Virginia Tech right now is just keeping it in his hands and just dribble, having the ball screen. They had a ghost screen there, a slip screen by Cattoor, and allowed him just to dribble, penetrate, get to the paint, and get a basket.
Green, deep 3. Money! Darren Green drills it.
That's what he does, Jay.
Six-point lead with about 6 minutes to play. Collins rejected, but that'll count. Goaltend, count the bucket.
Question is, will they review that? I guess not. Coach Hamilton's not asking for a review on that. Thought it was actually got it before he hit the backboard. I'd like to see it here. No, yeah, it did hit the backboard, so good call. Hey, I got to give the credit to the officials when they make the right call.
You haven't done a lot of that today.
I got to give their due when they make the right call.
I'll tell you what, in these close games, ACC games, so important in conference, 6 minutes to go, 4-point game, you got to be happy you're not on the sideline sweating up a storm. You're here comfortable. Inside and another slam. Jaylan Gainey delivers. Florida State has had a clear game plan, get right to the rim, and they have capitalized. And an immediate answer, thunderous from Robbie Barron.
Barron there had Gainey on the switch, was guarding him, and Gainey, due to his slowness because of some of his health concerns from his knees, wasn't able to keep him in front, and Barron just took him off the dribble right to the rim and got an uncontested dunk.
And Barron on the defensive end blocks it. Up ahead, Nickel. Great transition defense. Green up ahead, Watkins. Florida State likes to run. Hammering it home, Jaylan Gainey.
Critical time right here, Jay, for Virginia Tech. I think this possession right here, as we're getting close to the under 4-minute timeout, you see Miller on Pedulla right now.
Long misses the 3. Offensive rebound. Nickel double teamed. Kick out Cattoor. Got it! Hunter Cattoor, his 5th made 3. That one the biggest of the bunch.
Some of the best times to get an open 3 is off of an offensive rebound, kick out. What Florida State was doing against Virginia Tech gave them their own medicine, got the offensive rebound, found Cattoor in a wide open 3 at the slot there in front of their bench. Huge possession for Virginia Tech. You can see it right here. Offensive rebound by Nickel. Long, great decision by Long to find Cattoor. Again, Florida State had everyone swarming on that. And again, how many times do people say it? The best time to get a 3-point shot is off of an offensive rebound.
One possession game. We've got a fun finish coming in Tallahassee. You don't want to miss it. What's better than this? A fun finish in the ACC. It's been back and forth between Virginia Tech and Florida State all afternoon long.
Yeah.
Lead changes and punch for punch.
It's been an outstanding game. It was choppy the first half, but the second half has really picked up on their energy. Both teams making some shots. It's been a really entertaining game, and they've gotten much better flow, both teams, in this half.
One possession game. Florida State a 3-point lead with the ball. 3 timeouts as well. Spears He's been money from that spot. Rims out, no good.
Florida State came with double ghost screens, double slip screens, and allowed Spears to get right to the free throw line. Had a good look, just missed it.
Pedulla with 10 on the timer, under 4 to play. Drives and draws the foul.
Jay, if you notice, Pedulla's just driving them because they're, again, Florida State switching 1 through 5, so they're getting Miller on Pedulla, and he's just driving him to the rim. Not as much of any ball screen action right there. Just said, hey, we're just going to put my head down and get to the rim.
Pedulla, who struggled last Saturday in the loss to Wake Forest. He's battled a foot injury throughout the season. This is the first at the line. He has bounced back in a big way today for Virginia Tech. Both Pedulla and Cattoor, those are the two that have carried the Hokies. Can they carry them enough to the finish line? And another missed free throw, 0 for 2 from the line.
No way you would think that from Mike Young or anyone, any Virginia Tech fan would be thinking he's going to miss 2 free throws. He's too good of a shooter.
Cross-court pass risky, but it pays off. They go inside. Gainey, that's his 3rd dunk. That might be the biggest one.
And again, they did not settle. Cross-court pass on the skip and went right back into the paint, whether it's been the dribble drive attacking or through the pass. That's what's carried Florida State along with the offensive rebounds.
FSU keeps going inside, and it keeps paying off. A 5-point lead for the Seminoles. Pedulla trying to spin out of trouble. Missed it. And that's FSU ball.
Great wall up and moving his feet. Miller not going for Pedulla's foot fakes or head and shoulder fakes. Great defense there by Miller.
What a pass.
Hey, Jay, I've been so impressed by Miller. He's been really good this game.
Yeah, you could argue he's been the biggest bright spot for Florida State tonight, both offensively and defensively. FSU looking for back-to-back ACC wins. One against Georgia Tech Wednesday, trying to close this one out. Acrobatic! How did that go in? Primo Spears, are you kidding?
Let me tell you something, Jay. He played off of 2, so he drove the closeout, got into the paint, did not play off of 1 foot, came to a 2-foot jump stop, used his body and his power. He's a strong guard. Got into the paint there. Finished. Got an old school and 1. Big time play by Spears. Again, and they didn't settle for the mid-range or the 3. They attacked and conquered that ACC logo in the paint.
That's been the game changer. Florida State continues to go inside. It continues to work. This is the largest lead of the night for Florida State. Can they hold on another 240? You have to think Virginia Tech's looking for Cattoor. He shot 64% against Florida State in his career. It's Pedulla instead. Off the mark, no good.
Really good defense there by Florida State.
Watkins going coast to coast, right to the rim. Blocking foul is the call. 10-point lead for Florida State. This is now or never time for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, you can see here again, transition offense. So that's where they're at their best, Florida State, because Virginia Tech cannot set up on their half-court defense, and it allowed Watkins to get from end to end on a penetration, get into the paint. But you're right, Jay. Right now, this is really critical time for Virginia Tech because it's getting to a point where it's a point of no return based on the score right now.
They've struggled free throw shooting today, just 7 of 14 before that make.
Look, there's still a lot of time left, but I would tell you this next possession for Florida State, defensively for Virginia Tech right here, this could be the game, and for offensively for Florida State, this could be the game. This possession right here is going to say a lot on how this game finishes out.
Florida State has only made 3 threes today. It has not mattered. The game plan has been to go to the rim.
Virginia Tech showed pressure, something that Florida State always does. Virginia Tech had the pressure there. It almost got them a 10-second violation.
42 points in the paint. A lot of those coming in this second half. Leonard Hamilton takes the timeout. Still has 2 remaining here. 2 minutes left in regulation.
Well, I'll tell you right now, this is a big defensive series for Virginia Tech, as I mentioned before, and a big offensive series for Florida State coming out of this timeout. You're right at the 2-minute mark. You're right in that kind of teetering time. It's an 8-point game. So Virginia Tech, they get a stop. They got to go and try to get a go in transition. Florida State, if they score, they keep it in double digits. If Florida State is at double digits, I always thought as a head coach, around the minute 30 mark, you're probably in a good position. Doesn't mean you're guaranteed anything, but you're in a good position. So what are they drawing up here? Virginia Tech does not play zone. They're going to play man. So you know they're coming out in a man defense. That last time to start the half or out of the timeout, they ran that back screen lob. Will he try to do the same thing or do something to get the ball into the paint? The other thing, Jay, is what about Virginia Tech defensively on the ball screen? Because Spears has split them multiple times when they've hard hedged. It'll be interesting to see if Virginia Tech does switch their coverage this time and try to switch the ball screen instead of the hard show, hard hedge by either Kidd or Barrett.
Well, Virginia Tech knows they need a stop here. Led by as many as 9, Florida State has flipped this game around by getting to the rim and cashing in. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Miller's been a bright spot. Now off to Spears. 5 seconds to shoot. Spears lost the handle. A heave from Watkins. No good. Virginia Tech gets the stop they desperately needed.
Good defensive stand there by Virginia Tech.
And a foul call.
Which, Jay, stops the clock and puts their best free throw shooter on the free throw line. I don't want to jinx them, but these should be an automatic too.
Hunter Cattoor on the season, 90% from the line, nothing but net there.
I'm not a betting man, but if I was a betting man, I'm going to say he's going to make both of these.
One of the best ever to wear the Hokies uniform, the all-time Virginia Tech three-point leader. Florida State must hate seeing Cattoor because over his career, he is 64% from the field, and he's 100% from the line there. Two-possession game with 1:30 to go.
And Virginia Tech goes back to their diamond press, which gave Florida State a little trouble. And
now, interesting, because that did look like a planned foul there. Robbie Barron looked over to the bench, making sure that's what Virginia Tech wanted.
Yeah, I don't know if they wanted that. I looked over at the bench there. I couldn't tell from Coach Young, but the assistants I didn't think wanted him to foul. I think they maybe, if they're going to foul, get cross half court, try to get some traps in the backcourt. But if they wanted to foul, because they're doing it, trying to extend the game.
So you're battling the clock as much as you're battling the lead.
Absolutely.
Now Worley 67% from the foul line this season. And he misses that one.
And you got to remember now, for both teams, the remaining way to go, it's double bonus. So everyone's getting 2 shots. It's not 1-on-1, but that foul obviously ends up right now, the best you can do is 1 point out of this, so it ended up being a good foul by Virginia Tech.
And if you're looking for Duke and Notre Dame, that game to come right after us in South Bend, we'll get you over there as our ACC triple header continues.
So right now, you're in a 3-possession game, Jay. Virginia Tech has to score in this possession. They have to score. Florida State does not want to foul and put them on the free throw line to give them any free points.
Pedulla right to the rim, lays it up and in. 5-point game. Spears breaks the press. And a turnover. Primo Spears called for a carry. at midcourt. Leonard Hamilton is in disbelief. A big call in a close game.
The pressure by Virginia Tech has taken Florida State on these last 3 times they pressed, has given Florida State problems, and again, just forced a turnover there on the carry.
Virginia Tech has life. 1 minute left in regulation. Pedulla got it! Sean Pedulla drills the 3, and it's a 2-point game.
Incredible. Big shot by Pedulla. And now Virginia Tech's taking the press off, and they're just going to play in their half-court defense because they've got a one-possession game. Incredible, big-time possession right here offensively for Florida State.
Well, this is what it's all about in the ACC.
They're going to come with a high ball screen, look for Miller to maybe slip on it, but here comes Miller on the screen.
Spears, 3 seconds to shoot, in trouble. Worley gets it off just in time, but misses. And Cattoor has it. 25 seconds left. Virginia Tech trailing by 2. Nickel for the tie. No good. And Pedulla has to commit the foul there.
Hey, Jay, they got a good look there. They got a good look. I like that Mike Young did not call timeout. Florida State was not set up defensively. I thought it was a good decision not to call timeout, and ends up getting a good shot.
Missed free throw. And that gives Virginia Tech life, because the worst Florida State can do right now is make it a 3-point lead.
Now, if they miss this, though, you got to get a free throw box out, because that's where Florida State has hurt Virginia Tech on these second chances here.
Missed both. Virginia Tech has a timeout. 10 seconds left in regulation. Pedulla in attack mode. Draws the foul, and will have a chance to tie this game at the foul line.
Missed free throws down the stretch there. They've missed 3 of their last 4 free throws, Jay, and here comes Pedulla just on the drive again. Good decision by Mike Young not to call timeout. Pedulla gets to the rim, draws the foul, and I would tell you, Pedulla missed those 2 free throws earlier. I think he's such a good free throw shooter. I would be shocked if he's not making both of these.
And Baba Miller has fouled out of this game, and he's been a huge bright spot for Florida State. 8 points, 10 rebounds. He's played excellent defense.
I tell you what, Jay, they're up.
Game-winning shot was Cleveland at Miami.
We're getting Chuck Walsh, the SID from Florida State.
He's the best in the business.
Yeah, he was coming telling us some stat stuff. Florida State had the game. Virginia Tech's pressure in the backcourt, their full court press, has caused Florida State major issues, and then the missed free throws by Florida State.
Timeout, Leonard Hamilton. He's going to try and ice this second foul shot of Pedulla, who's been terrific all night. 25 points for Sean Pedulla. What a bounce-back effort after he struggled last Saturday in the loss to Wake Forest. Here's the reality for Florida State. You were in the driver's seat. This game was almost put to bed. You led by 7 points with 1:30 left in this game. And yet, 1 free throw away from it being tied at 74. That being said, as disappointing it is to lose that lead, if you're Florida State, you still have plenty of time to get something off.
Well, look, they were up 17 with 8 minutes to go against Georgia at home earlier in the year, and they lost the game. They've had some issues of holding on to leads, and that can drive the coach crazy. Time and score is everything. They just struggled somewhat against the pressure of Virginia Tech's full court press. But here's the thing. They missed their last 3 of the 4 free throws, Jay. Otherwise, the game's over.
Instead, Pedulla with a chance to tie this at 74. Leads all scorers with 25 points tonight. Got it. And Mike Young decides to take his final timeout to set up the defense.
Well, here's what I would tell you. The question becomes, and one, Miller has fouled out. That's a big loss for Florida State, assuming if they don't make this shot, losing him in overtime is a big loss for them because he's been such a difference maker. You can see the blown leads that Florida State has had this year. That being said, what is Leonard Hamilton drawing up right now, and what is Mike Young doing drawing up defensively? I think Mike Young's going to try to, you don't want to get them behind, so they might try to pick up just three-quarter court, but keep it in front of you. You don't want to foul because both teams are in the bonus. 5.9 seconds is plenty of time to get to the rim on a dribble. And you've got to remember the new rule in college basketball that if you drive and defensively a guy moves over, it's probably going to be a block if there's going to be a collision at the rim, if there's not a straight up and down jump by the defender. So if I'm Florida State, I'm driving that ball to the rim as deep as I can and try to put the pressure on the official.
2 minutes ago, Florida State had a 10-point lead. Virginia Tech with a furious 11-1 run in the last 2 minutes to tie this game at 74.
You can see Virginia Tech, Cattoor's picked up in about right at the free throw line, extended at Virginia Tech's bench just to make sure that Florida State catches it as close as they can to the baseline. I think once they throw the ball in, they'll drop back. They just want to have it caught as close to the end line as possible.
Into Spears, 5 seconds to win it. Spears all the way to the rim and a foul called. Foul called with 1.2. Primo Spears a chance to win it at the free throw line.
You can see straight drive.
That is
not a
big
lot of contact, but he called it.
And Spears, 88% foul shooter. But he's 1 for 3 today.
Good decision to just drive it and get to the rim. As I mentioned, put the pressure on the official. Do you miss it here?
Virginia Tech does not have a timeout.
If I'm Florida State, I missed the free throw. You got to hit the rim. That way, Virginia Tech can't set anything up. Because with a 1 or 2 points, it shouldn't matter. He should miss the free throw, but he's got to hit the rim.
He makes it. Virginia Tech down to one final chance. A full court heave. Kidd can't get his hands on it, and that'll do it. Florida State holds on. Leonard Hamilton saying the game's not over. The officials are saying both teams return to your benches. Did Lynn Kidd get a touch of the ball is the question. Because if he did not, no clock would have run off, so it'd be 1.2 seconds left. Florida State would have the ball, but there would be time remaining. So the question is, did Lynn Kidd get a touch of this ball? Right now, the game...
Jay, I would like for you to... I would like for you to tell me, do you foresee this as because this is a huge play right here on the replay by Spears on the drive.
Well, I was going to say, right now, the difference in this game is this foul call. So let's take another look before we look at the official review.
How do you see it, Jay?
I'm not an official, and I'm not a coach like you, but in a tight game like this, I would lean towards swallowing the whistle.
It's a questionable call. Now, I will say this for the official's defense. If there's a foul, you got to call it, whether it's 1 second in a game or 19 minutes in the first half. That being
Don't know
said,
if there's enough contact.
I couldn't tell. He said he got hit on the head. It looked like it was more on the shoulder. His forearm maybe on the back is where he got hit.
So now this is what they're reviewing. Did a piece of the ball touch Lynn Kidd? Tough to tell there.
If it did, the game's over. If it did not, then Florida State's just got to throw it in and make sure they get a touch. So with Virginia Tech with no timeouts.
What a terrific comeback attempt by Virginia Tech. They trailed by 10 with 2 minutes to go, 7 with a minute 30 to go. They come back to tie it at 74. And yet Florida State, with those 2 Primo Spears foul shots, may have just held on. Here's a good look at it. Kid outstretched arm.
It looks like the ball turned, so maybe his fingertips got it.
Live, I thought he hit it. As you look at the replays, it's tough to tell.
Yeah, it's tough to tell. But if it's a 50-50, the tie goes to the runner. Tie goes to what the official has on the call on the floor.
That look right there, maybe?
Did the ball turn? Did the laces change direction is the question. They say it didn't touch.
AJ Desai's coming over here to give the call. So 1.2 seconds left. Florida State ball. And all the Seminoles need to do is inbound this ball successfully. You can't turn it over, and you win the game.
You just got to get a touch, because whether Florida State or Virginia Tech touches it, it starts the clock. So even if you got a deflection, it's almost like you just throw it, let the inbounder guy guard the inbounder, get a deflection almost, because the clock will start. As you can see, Florida State starting every one of the half courts, so they have room to break towards the basket. The only thing Florida State needs to do is get the ball touched somehow, some way, just throw it up.
And a foul called by Jamie Lucky before the inbound.
That's the last thing that Florida State wanted.
Big opportunity here.
If he misses the first, so he does his first.
Got it.
I would go ahead and you got to make it. Just if you do, there's no chance to win. Yeah. Sometimes you can think about, well, you missed. There's no chance.
You're still coaching here in the booth. We can't help you. You're still coaching down the stretch.
Make the free throw, 4-point game. Your game's over.
They missed it.
I don't know why he did that.
Cattoor a heave.
They started the clock way early.
I thought they started the clock early.
They started the clock early.
The officials have walked off the court. It's a final. Florida State hangs on.
They start the clock early. Pedulla's trying to tell A.J. Desai